Okay, good evening to all of you. So today I'm going to discuss the another important topic of M.Ed, which is research problem. But before starting the research problem, I just want to discuss with you what I have done in the last lecture. Right, guys? In the last lecture, I discussed with you educational research, meaning, steps and types and limitations of educational research. Actually, the concept of educational research is clear to you, right? Research basically क्या चीज है? Research is a problem. It is a systematic inquiry towards the solutions of the problem. Okay, what is a research in a one line? Research is a systematic inquiry towards the solution of the problem. This is called research. Okay, and what is a educational research? When we apply the research applications या research principles into the field of education in order to solve educational problems, it is called educational research. Right, guys? जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, you know that there are a lot of problems in the field of education, like problem of curriculum problem, syllabus problem, class lecture problem. So these all problems, we do the research on it. Any of the topics we can select, we do the research systematically, we do the research. This is called educational research, right? Now within a 1 minute I discuss about the types of educational research. So guys, there are three types of educational research. One is basic research या fundamental research. Second is applied research, and third is action research. Okay, what is a basic research? The basic research, the purpose of a basic research is to develop any theory, yeah, any generalization. Basic research is done for the sake of getting the knowledge. This is called basic research. And under a basic research, we have developed a theory. Now we have to apply that theory in order to see that what is the result of that theory. So we take help of applied research, right? And third was action research. I have already told you in the last lecture, under action research, whatever the problem you are facing during the applied research, action research solves that problem. मतलब immediate solutions provide करना. Action research provides the immediate solutions. And the last topic of the last lecture was steps of educational research. This is most important, which you have to remember. 6 or 7 steps and 5 or 6 steps of educational research. Sometimes 6 and sometimes 7s. Okay, both will be correct. Okay. So first step the first step is identifications and defining of the problem. This is a first step of the educational research. Always remember. And guys, second step you have to remember. Second is review of related literature, right? The third step of any educational research is formulations of hypotheses. Fourth step is designing the research methodology. Which research methodology you have to design? It includes collections of the data, questionnaire, okay, where you have to go. So fourth step is designing and procedure. Fifth step is analysis and interpretation of the result. Okay, you have collected the data, now you have to interpret the result. This is the fifth steps of the educational research. And sixth step is implications of that research, right? And last may seventh step is making the research report. So this you have to remember. These are the 7 steps of educational research, right? In today's lecture, we will start with the research problem. Okay, right? Under a research problem, today we will discuss about concept and meaning of research problem. Then we will discuss about the sources of research problem. Then we will discuss selections of research problem. Fourth, defining a statement of the research problem. Fifth is the most important, formulations of research problem. This question has come in the last exam. Write the steps of formulations of the research problem, right? Next, we will discuss delimitations of research problem and what are the characteristics of a research problem. फिर अगर time मिला तो we will discuss hypothesis and preparations of research proposals, right guys? Then I'm going to start with the research problem. This is the most important topic, right? And this is a very easy topic. In fact, research problem is the very first step in any of the research process, right? In a simple terms, what is a research problem? Actually, whatever the questions you have in the education field, these are called the research problems. Okay, a research problem is exactly that a problem someone would like to research. These are called the research problem, right? Any of the problem, any of the question under the educational research, because our topic is educational research, although research is a very vast field, but we have to confine the research in a educational research. And whatever the problems we are facing in the educational research, these questions becomes the research problems. Okay, एक करलिंगर की डेफिनेशंस है, सबसे लास्ट में दी हुई है, right? If you can learn it. What the Karlinger has said, that Karlinger said a problem is an interrogative sentence or statement that asks what relations exist between two or more variables. The answer to questions will provide what is having sought in the research. Okay, you can learn it. Now you have understood about the research problem. Basically research questions, yeah, any of the question that comes in the education field, that becomes a research problem. But side by side, you have to learn one more thing. Not all the questions are the research questions, yeah, research problems. Okay, some questions are vague. I understand you with the help of example. For example, I have given here, okay, what impact does social media have on people's mind? Okay, can you repeat? Anyone, can you repeat this line? What impact does social media have on people's mind? Yes.
What impact does social media have on people's
People's mind.
mind?
Okay, thank you so much. So this is a question. Okay, but it cannot be a research problem. Why? Because it is a vague. Because in this question we are unaware what type of a social media, okay, impact on people mind, number one. Number second, we are unaware, okay, we are not specifying what kind of a people, social kind of a people would be affected by the social media. Okay, people can be a, small children, they can be a adolescents, they can be a adulthood, right? So such type of a questions, that does not become the research problem. But when I refined this statement, when I filter this statement by writing what impact does daily use of Facebook have on the study attentions of under 90s, so it has become my research problem, because I have filtered, right? Because here I want to research on what would be the impact of Facebook on the adolescents, yeah, on the high school students, right guys? I think you have understood that research problems basically are the questions in that comes under educational field, but not all the questions becomes the research problem. When we work on the questions, when we filter the questions, and when we make the statement, concise statement and meaningful statement, that becomes the research problem. So basically this is the problem. What impact does daily use of a Facebook have on the study attentions of under 90s? Okay, you can even write a research on thesis on it, 400 pages on it, 100 pages on it, right? This is about the research problem, right? So next we talk about sources of research problem. From where we get the research problems? Okay, what are the sources? research problem ki. So these all are, I have written the points. These can be the sources of research problem. Classroom teaching, consultation with the research supervisor, classroom lectures, class discussions, seminar reports, critical appraisal of literature, previous research. So ये सभी के सभी जो points I have written, these are the sources of a research problem. Being of a scholar, okay, from where you have to collect the research problem. So these all are the previous research, existing theories, social issue. Last line dekhiye, social issue. There are a lot of social issues, female feticide, okay. So whatever the social issues, that can become your sources of research problem, okay. Even if you are unaware, you don't know from where you have to collect the research problem, you can consult with the experts, you can consult with your seniors, okay. They will provide you, you can take the help of a previous research, okay. These can be the source of your research problems, okay. Next, we discuss about the selections of research problems, okay. Here, always remember here I only talked about sources of research problem, okay. In the next slide we will discuss about selections of research problem, okay. अभी तक हमने क्या किया था, हमें sources of research problem पता लग गई, अब हमें सिलेक्ट करना है. सिलेक्शंस का मतलब क्या होता है, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ सिलेक्शन. सिलेक्शन मीनिंग personal inclination means interest, whether the research problem, okay, interested to you or not. आपका, do you have interest in the research problem or not, you have to see that, okay. Second point is the resource availability, you have to see that whether the availability of the resources उस problem की availability resource की data collections की है या नहीं है, right. Third, relevance, whether that particular problem is relevance or not, okay. Here I give you my example. I have already one PhD on the computer, second PhD I'm doing the lovely professional university. Went 2 years back in the year of 2017 or 18, okay, when I presented the topic over there. My topic of PhD was techno-pedagogical competencies among teacher educators, right. So all the panel members, they were forcing me to, Lalit, you have to do the research on the university teachers, okay. But I discussed ki, sir, I have to do the research over there because I can get the data easily, because from last 10 to 15 years I'm dealing with the B.Ed M.Ed colleges. So these things you have to see that when you select any research problem, when you work on any research topic, right. Fourth point is very important, you should have the research knowledge, right. You have to take the research knowledge, how you have to proceed. Next step, practicality, whatever the research problem you have selected, उसकी practicality है या नहीं है, ये भी आपने देखना है, right. Then timelines of the problem. Sometimes what happens, student choose any of the topic, but क्या होता है वो, it does not complete, it goes on 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, okay. I'm talking about the PhD level, right. On a M.Ed level be, in fact, within 2 years you have to complete the M.Ed. Sometimes the student of a M.Ed choose any of the topic, it does not complete within a 2 year. So then you have to see the timelines of the problem. Data availability we have already discussed. Urgency, उस टॉपिक की अर्जेंसी है या नहीं है. नेक्स्ट है फिजिबिलिटी, what is the meaning of feasibility? Anybody can tell me feasibility? I think convenienceness, हाँ, whether that, हाँ, convenience, वो है convenient है या नहीं है वो topic. Area culture और ethical issues, right. Ethical issues में you have to see, you don't have to copy the topic from the internet, from the newspaper, from the journal, from any of the book, right. So these all the topic, these all the points you have to keep in your mind while you are going to select the research problem. In last slide, we talked about sources of research problem. In this slide, we talk about selection of research problem. In a next slide, we will discuss about defining and identify defining or statement of the research problem. Now, what you have done, you have come to know about sources of a research problem, and in a second, you have selected one research problem. Third point is that under a research problem topic, you have to define a research problem. Defining it is also a systematical step, because what is a research? Research is a systematical application towards the solutions of a particular problem. What is a research? Systematical activity towards the solutions of a particular problem. So under the heading subheading of defining or statement of a research problem, you have to define. Here I have given the same example. What impact does daily use of Facebook have on the study attentions of under 19s? Okay, so under this is my main heading, my research topic, and under this topic I have defined, I have stated, 3-4 questions. Okay, what type of a social media? Facebook. On what type of a sample, on what type of a populations I have to work? Under 90s, means adolescents, I have to work on the adolescent. Third, what kind of effect I want to see? I want to see the social or psychological, right? But guys, these questions you have to write actually defining or statement of the problem. 1 or 2 pages may you have to define, all the first heading and then subheadings, right? Next, what are the characteristics of defining or statement of the research problem? This is very much important, right? So number first, whatever the topic you have selected, now you are going to define the topic. That topic should be adequately and clearly phrased and stated. Okay, ये देखिए last में I have phrased that topic. Okay, when you see that topic, anybody can judge it. Okay, this is the clear stated topic. That topic is not over speaking. That topic is not hiding anything. Okay, every persons can judge it. Okay, the particular person is going to research on the daily use of a Facebook, on the study habit or study attentions of under 90s. Okay, so these are the characteristics. Second, देखिए, next bullet, second bullet, be sure that topic chosen is neither too vague or too broad in scope. अगर वो वेग होगा या बहुत ब्रॉड होगा, तो मतलब you cannot do the research on that topic. Sometime it goes on expanding. Okay, because you have to wind up topic also within a 2 year. Third is third characteristics of defining or statement of research problem is that it should be simple, clear and straightforward, neither hiding anything nor over speaking anything, right? Fourth characteristics, the language which you use during while defining the research problem, yes, statement of the research problem, it should be simple, clear and straight. Fifth characteristics, it should address a gap in knowledge. Gap means research gaps, research questions जो अभी मैंने डिस्कस किए हैं आपके साथ, राइट? कि भाई फेसबुक सोशल मीडिया हो गया और पॉपुलेशंस अंडर 19 मतलब एडोलेसेंट्स हो गई हैं. These are called research gaps. Research gaps are the research questions, right? Next characteristics is that it should be significant enough to contribute the existing body of research. Next, it should lead to further research. This is also more important. Whatever the topic you select, जो भी topic आप select करते हैं, okay, इसकी ये एक implications है कि भाई any of the persons can do the further research on that topic. Okay, for example, here populations I have taken under 19s na, adolescents. Anybody can take the same topic, okay, but he can write that study attentions of the adulthood. Adulthood कौन होते हैं? 19s के बाद, राइट? तो ऑन पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक के ऊपर वो फर्दर रिसर्च कर सकता है. तो आपका टॉपिक जो है, वट एवर द टॉपिक यू सिलेक्ट, इट शुड हैव potential for the further research, right? And last characteristics, the problem should render itself to investigation through collections of data, कि उसका data easily आपको मिल जाएगा, right? तो ये सारे के सारे characteristics हैं while during defining or statement of the research problem, right guys? Next we talk about formulations of research problem. Okay, so before starting the formulations of a research problem, we talked about research problem, we talked about characteristics of a research problem, we talked about sources of research problem, we talked about selections of research problem, we talked about defining and statement of the research problem. Actually, these all the points which I discussed before this slide, these all comes under the formulations of research problem, right? Although these are the 7 steps, okay, you can also write under the formulations of the research problem, okay? But what is the meaning of formulation of research problem? The meaning is that construction, formulation mean construction, designing a research problem, right? So these 7 steps are needed whenever you design the research problem, whenever you construct the research problem, whenever you formulate the research problem. So, you know, these 7 points you have to understand. The first is identify the broad study area, right? You have already done it. Sources आ गया, selections आ गया, okay? वो सारा का सारा एरिया है, उसको आप आइडेंटिफाई करते हो, आइडेंटिफाई करके आप अपना कोई पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक सिलेक्ट करते हो, राइट? सेकंड पॉइंट आ गया डिसेक्ट. डिसेक्ट का मतलब होता है बाइफरकेट करना, ओके? डिसेक्ट द ब्रॉड स्टडी एरिया इनटू सब एरियाज, राइट? आपने पहले सोशल मीडिया को सिलेक्ट किया, यू वांट टू स्टडी ऑन द सोशल मीडिया, देन उसको आपने डिवाइड कर दिया ओनली फेसबुक, राइट? सोशल मीडिया, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ सोशल मीडिया, यूट्यूब इज ए सोशल मीडिया, यू नो, अनदर काइंड ऑफ ए सोशल मीडिया, बट आपने उसको सब कैटेगरी कर दिया, ओनली फेसबुक. Facebook is a social media. You want to work on that Facebook. You want to see the problem of a Facebook on the attentions of the under 19 students. Okay. Third is the most important. Mark up your interest. So unless or until you don't have interest of a particular topic, you cannot do the research up to the long time. Okay, because the research goes up to the 2 year, up to the 3 years in the PhD cases, but in the M.Ed cases, within a 2 year, you have to finish it. So it should mark your interest also. You can free to define any of the topic in the research problem, but you have to see that that should be related with your interest. The more you will interest in the research problem, you can easily, you know, work on the research problem. You can easily finish your thesis, 100 pages thesis, okay, if you have a interest. Fourth point is study research questions. Aapko, you have to make a research questions, okay? What are the research questions? You have to work on that. Okay, what are the problems which you are, you know, facing? Fifth, I guess, set out objectives. This is the most important. अब टॉपिक्स तो आपका वो आ गया था, अब टॉपिक्स के अकॉर्डिंग आपको यू हैव टू मेक 2 or 3 or 4 ऑब्जेक्टिव, ओके? और यू हैव टू वर्क ऑन दैट ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, ओके? आई गिव यू एग्जांपल. I'm giving you example of a fifth point, set out objectives by taking this research topic, okay? Suppose my research topic is what impact does daily use of Facebook have on the study attentions of under 90s, okay? This is my research topic. Now I have to frame research objectives, okay? The fifth point of the formulations of research problem. So I can make the objective, my first objective, I will deduce from that statement. My first objective can be number 1, to study the impact of Facebook on the study attention of boys and girls of high school student, right? ये मेरा first objective हो गया ना? Okay, I repeat again, to study the impact of Facebook on the study attentions of high school student. This is my first. Second, to study the impact of Facebook on the study attention of under 19s within Punjab district. Okay, ये मेरा second objective हो गया, right? Within a Punjab कर लिया, या you can select the districts also within the Bathinda, within the Karnal, within the Chandigarh, within the Firozpur, right? ये मेरा second objective हो गया. तो similarly you have to deduce, you have to extract little objectives from the research statement. Suppose you have made 3 or 4 objectives, and whole of your research that will depend upon their 3 or 4 objectives which you have deduced from your statement, right? So I go back to formulation of research problem. So fifth point is clear to you, set out objectives. कि while constructing while formulations of a research problem, we have to make 3 or 4 objectives, और उसी 3 or 4 objectives पे हमें work करना होता है, right? यहाँ पे मैं I just want to tell you one thing. चाहे आपका M.Ed का thesis होता है, चाहे आपका PhD का thesis हो, right? M.Ed के thesis में 3 या 4 objectives होते हैं, PhD के thesis में it can be 7 or 8 objectives, okay? Because PhD thesis it is a big thesis, तो 350 pages का वो होता है, और 3-3.5-4 साल लग जाते हैं उसमें, right? Sixth point is assess your objectives. So under assess your objectives, what you have to explain when this question comes in the exam, you have to define all the things. Here you have to define the hypothesis also. Assess your objectives के अंदर you have to define your data collections technique also. Assess your objectives के अंदर you have to define the different statistical tools also which you are going to implement in order to solve, in order to crack this research problem, right? Seventh point आ गया check back. फिर लास्ट में आपको while you are constructing a research problem, you have to see the previous whole procedure, okay, one time again, in order to ensure that कोई भी चीज कहीं रह नहीं गई है. तो जब वो कंप्लीट रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम जब आपके पास हो जाती है, राइट, तो देन you can go easily further, right? You can work on that, right? So this is all about the formulations of the research problem. Next again, delimitations of research problem, right? This is also important. Delimitations of research problem means here you are going to delimit the scope of research problem, right? उसको आपने delimit करना है. तो mostly last देखिए I have written 5 points. These 5 points come under the delimitations of research problem, right? One is a research objective we have discussed, research questions we have discussed, third variables, theoretical objectives that you have adopted. Fourth number के ऊपर population. देखो अगर आप डिलिमिट नहीं करोगे पॉपुलेशंस को, तो आपने अंडर 90s तो लिख दिया, तो एडोलोसेंट्स तो पूरे इंडिया का एडोलोसेंट है, तो आपको वहां पे यू हैव टू डिलिमिट कि आई वांट टू स्टडी ऑन द पंजाब, एडोलोसेंट्स ऑफ पंजाब, यू वांट टू स्टडी एडोलोसेंट्स ऑफ चंडीगढ़, राइट? तो पॉपुलेशन चोजन एज टारगेट टू स्टडी, तो यहाँ पे डिलिमिट करनी पड़ेगी उसको. और फिफ्थ पे स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल, कि what type of a statistical tool you are going to implement, you are going to interpret your results, okay? So this is all about the delimitations of the research problem, right? Okay, last point is last subtopic under the research problem is characteristics of a good research problem, okay? What are the characteristics of a good research problem? I think I have discussed with you, okay? So it is very easy topic, okay? You can make the point by your point of view also, right? Not you can learn my notes, yeah, you have to read from the books. You can give your point of view also. Characteristics of a good research problem, like good research problem must be researchable, must be manageable. That means वाकई में ही इस प्रॉब्लम के ऊपर ये प्रॉब्लम थी जो which is not worked till now, so there is a need to research on that problems, okay? Research, basically research देखो क्या चीज होती है. एक और पॉइंट मुझे, I just clicked one point. Research basically I told you systematical inquiry to सॉल्विंग द सॉल्यूशन ऑफ पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम, राइट। रिसर्च का एक सेकंड व्यू ये भी है, रिसर्च ऑलवेज स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम वेयर द प्रीवियस रिसर्चर हैज लेफ्ट, and when you start even a 1 inch of that research, that means you are going to solve that particular problem up to 1 inch, right? तो रिसर्च ऑलवेज स्टार्ट कहां से होती है, जहां से प्रीवियस रिसर्चर ने उसको छोड़ दिया है और आप उसके ऊपर फिर वर्क करते हो। जितना भी आप वर्क करते हो फिर आप उसको वाइंड अप कर देते हो, तो ऐसे ही रिसर्च चलती रहती है, राइट। जैसे एजुकेशन है हमारी, ओके, वी आर लुकिंग दैट एजुकेशन आज से 40-50 साल पहले देयर वाज नो यूज ऑफ कंप्यूटर, बट नाउ computers have become the compulsory subject from a nursery or a pre-nursery, right? So how the computer came into existence and how the schools of India and the students of India, they are using the computer, because we researched on that कि whether when we start the teaching with the help of a computer, तो बच्चों की जो लर्निंग हैबिट्स हैं, बच्चों की जो ये इंप्रूव करेंगे कि नहीं इंप्रूव करेंगे। तो जब रिजल्ट पॉजिटिव आया, रिसर्च हुई इनके ऊपर, रिजल्ट पॉजिटिव आया, तो रिजल्ट आपके सामने ही है। आज की डेट में कंप्यूटर हैज बिकम अ कंपल्सरी मैंडेटरी फ्रॉम फर्स्ट क्लास टू अप टू लास्ट, राइट। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट क्या है, कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ ए गुड रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम, इट शुड बी स्टेटेड क्लियरली एंड कंसाइसली, राइट। थर्ड पॉइंट इज गुड रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम जनरेट रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस, ओके। वो जो रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम्स है वहां से क्वेश्चंस निकल के आनी चाहिए हमें। टॉपिक 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 इज द, जैसे बोलते हैं ना, फेस इज द इंडेक्स ऑफ द माइंड। सिमिलरली गाइस, टॉपिक इज द इंडेक्स ऑफ द रिसर्च। टॉपिक खुद बताता है कि हाँ ये रिसर्च क्वेश्चन इसमें से निकल के आएंगे, राइट। फोर्थ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स इज दैट द वेरिएबल इन द प्रॉब्लम मस्ट बी क्लियर। वेरिएबल्स क्या होते हैं, अभी हमने वी हैव टेकन द वन एग्जांपल ना, इम्पैक्ट ऑफ फेसबुक ऑन द स्टडी हैबिट ऑफ या स्टडी इंटेंशन ऑफ 90s। अब इसमें वेरिएबल कौन से हैं, इसमें वेरिएबल है, नंबर 1 वेरिएबल है सोशल मीडिया, राइट। सेकंड वेरिएबल है अंडर 90s स्टूडेंट्स, मतलब एडोलेसेंट्स, वो सेकंड वेरिएबल है। थर्ड वेरिएबल हमारा क्या है, स्टडी अटेंशन। तो ये 3 वेरिएबल्स हैं विच वी हैव यूज्ड। तो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ गुड रिसर्च भी क्या कहते हैं, द वेरिएबल्स इन द प्रॉब्लम मस्ट बी क्लियर, राइट। नेक्स्ट क्या है, इट मस्ट हैव ए गोल, पर्टिकुलर कोई इसका गोल होना चाहिए। नेक्स्ट क्या है इसका, इट शुड रिलेट टू वन और मोर एकेडमिक फील्ड ऑफ स्टडी, राइट। बिकॉज our topic is a educational research, तो हमने we have to talk about academic teaching learning। तो ये बोलता है कि भाई रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम का कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स भी ये है कि इट शुड रिलेट टू एकेडमिक फील्ड ऑफ ए स्टडी। नेक्स्ट क्या है कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ ए गुड रिसर्च का, इट शुड हैव बेस इन द रिसर्च लिटरेचर। मीन्स वट एवर द प्रॉब्लम यू आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस या यू आर गोइंग टू वर्क ऑन दैट प्रॉब्लम, उसका पीछे बेस होना चाहिए, लिटरेचर होना चाहिए, राइट। मतलब यू कैनॉट डिफाइन और चूज एनी ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम जिसका पीछे रिसर्च लिटरेचर नहीं है। उसमें क्या होगा, टाइम वेस्टेज होगा, मनी वेस्टेज होगी, डेटा आप कलेक्ट नहीं कर पाएंगे, राइट। मतलब कोई ऐसा टॉपिक आप चूज कर लेते हैं, तो तभी ये बोलते हैं एक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ ए गुड रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि उसका पीछे लिटरेचर अवेलेबल होना चाहिए, राइट। जैसे डेटा आप यू कैन कलेक्ट विद द हेल्प ऑफ ए इंटरनेट, विद द हेल्प ऑफ ए न्यूज़पेपर, विद द हेल्प ऑफ ए जर्नल्स, राइट। प्राइमरी रिसोर्सेज एंड सेकेंडरी रिसोर्सेज जो हमने किया था डेटा कलेक्शंस के अंदर, राइट, ये अवेलेबल होना चाहिए। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट क्या है, सफिशिएंट डेटा आर अवेलेबल, इट कैन बी ऑब्टेन्ड। नेक्स्ट है द रिसर्चर मेथोडोलॉजिकल स्ट्रेंथ कैन बी अप्लाइड टू द प्रॉब्लम, ओके। तो आपका यू शुड हैव साउंड नॉलेज ऑफ ए आरएम। आरएम मींस रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी, उसकी आपको साउंड नॉलेज होनी चाहिए, राइट। एक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ ए गुड रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम का ये है कि तभी आप उस प्रॉब्लम को इजीली सोल्व कर सकते हो विद इन ए टाइम। नेक्स्ट है इट शुड बी फ्री फ्रॉम एथिकल कंस्ट्रेंट्स, मतलब कोई कई चीजें ऐसी आ जाती हैं, राइट, तो उस पे एथिक्स नहीं आपके अलाउ करते, कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स ऐसी हैं, राइट। तो वो ऐसी प्रॉब्लम ही मत लो, प्रॉब्लम कोई ऐसी चूज करो कि जिसमें कोई एथिकल चीजें ना आए आपको, राइट? कोई अनएथिकल प्रॉब्लम ही मत ली, राइट? लास्ट है, बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट, इट शुड हैव द पोटेंशियल टू सजेस्ट डायरेक्शंस फॉर फर्दर रिसर्च। मतलब आपकी रिसर्च है, उसके अंदर ये पोटेंशियल होना चाहिए कि उस पे कोई फर्दर रिसर्च भी कर सकता है, राइट गाइस? सो आई थिंक we are done with research problem. Okay, we have done with research problem first, then characteristics of a research problem, then we talked about sources of research problem, then we talked about selection of research problem, then we talked about defining a statement of research problem, then we talked about the formulations of research problem, and last we talked about characteristics of a good research problem. Right guys, thank you so much.